Y'all, 2021 is gonna break the bank for me. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today I'm going to be telling you about more anticipated reads that I've added to my TBR for 2021. I have about 7 or 8 books that I want to talk about, and I'm going to kind of briefly go over the synopsises of them and just let you guys know what I will be adding to my TBR once they're released. So the first one I want to talk about is The Secrets of Us by Lucinda Berry. And if you know anything about me, I have recently been loving Lucinda Berry's books. Like, I feel like, I don't know what it is, but her writing style is just so good. And I love that she always has like psychological or like, I don't know, some kind of like trauma and children background into it. So I think you should really check into that if that's something you're interested in. This one is set for June 1st of this year, and the synopsis is pretty interesting. This one says, foster sisters Crystal and Nicole have always been there for each other. So when Nicole is committed to a psychiatric hospital after trying to kill her husband, Crystal drops everything to defend her. Scarred by a hard upbringing, Nicole and Crystal managed to construct comfortable lives for themselves. Crystal became a respected lawyer, and Nicole was happily married to an architect until Nicole starts raving that her husband isn't really her husband, and she believes that he is an imposter. Driven by fierce loyalty, Crystal starts asking questions, but she is not sure she can bear the answers. Her investigation leads to her sister's dark, shared past, to a horrible tragedy and a well-guarded lie that cemented their sisterly bond. But that lie can't kill the truth, the battered, gasping, clawing truth that comes for them both. That sentence was weird. Now Crystal and Nicole must fight for their lives they've built before they're consumed by the one that they left behind. I'm so excited for this book. I also am really excited to pick up some of the other backlist books that I have not gotten to. So hopefully maybe I'll just make a whole vlog where I just read Lucinda Berry books. I don't know. So the next one I want to talk about is by Alice Feeney. It's Rock, Paper, Scissors. And recently I just started reading Alice Feeney's book. I really enjoyed His and Hers. I felt like that one was a very bingeable, indulging type of thriller mystery. And then I read Sometimes I Lie by her, which wasn't my favorite. I know a lot of people prefer that one over all of her other books. But I don't know. Something about His and Hers I really enjoyed. I don't know. But she does have another one coming out on September 7th of this year. And this one sounds really interesting. I've had this one on my list, but I didn't have a synopsis to kind of go off of. I just quickly added it because it was Alice Feeney. Things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time. When Adam and Amelia went a weekend away to Scotland, it must be what their marriage needs. Self-confessed workaholic and screenwriter Adam has lived with face blindness his whole life. He can't recognize friends or family or even his own wife. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts: paper, cotton, pottery, tin. Each year, Adam's wife writes him a letter that she never lets him read. Until now. They both know this weekend will make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. 10 years of marriage, 10 years of secrets, and an anniversary they will never forget. I don't know why, but I'm like instantly getting like misery vibes. I don't know. Like, is this really his wife? I'm not sure. This one just sounds super interesting. So the next one I want to talk about is by Samantha Downing. It is called For Their Own Good. This one is set to come out July 20th. And I'm not getting my hopes up about this one because I really loved My Lovely Wife by her. And I also was really anticipating the one that just came out this past year. He started it. And although that was a really good book and I would recommend it, it just wasn't perfection like I normally was expecting. So I'm hoping this one is just as good. But again, I'm not going in with high hopes. So again, For Their Own Good by Samantha Downing. It says Teddy Croucher has won Teacher of the Year at the esteemed Belmont Academy, home of the best and brightest. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her in a while. Teddy really can't be bothered with the death of a school parent that's looking more and more like a murder, or the student digging a little too deep into Teddy's personal life. His main focus is pushing these kids to their full academic potential. All he wants is for his colleagues and the endlessly meddlesome parents to stay out of their way. It's really too bad that sometimes excellence can come at such a high cost. So Teddy's definitely hiding something and we need to figure out what it is. So the next one I want to talk about is by Sherry LaPena. I loved the first two books I read by Sherry LaPena, which is A Stranger in the House and The Couple Next Door. But then I read The Unwanted Guest, and I just wasn't a fan of that one. And I haven't really heard too many good things about her other two books that I've released. But this one sounds really interesting, even though it has something that I personally don't like in books, but I'm willing to sacrifice that. So this one is called Not a Happy Family, and it's set to come out on July 27th. It says, in this family, everyone keeps secrets, even the dead. In this family, everyone keeps secrets, especially the dead. Brecon Hill in upstate New York is an expensive place to live. You have to be rich to have a house there. And they don't come much richer than Fred and Sheila, but even all their money can't protect them when a killer comes to call. The Mertens are brutally murdered the night after an Easter dinner with their 3 adult kids, who, of course, are devastated. Or are they? They each stand to inherit millions. They were never a happy family, but perhaps one of them is more disturbed than anyone knew. Did one of them snap after their dreadful evening? Or was it someone else that night who crept in with the worst of intentions? It must be. After all, if one of their siblings was a psychopath, you know it, wouldn't you? So I don't typically like sibling rivalry or people fighting over money like inheritance, but I do like messed up people, especially like people you wouldn't suspect to be like crazy. So I'm excited for this one. Hopefully it's good. Okay, so I'm jumping out on a limb on this one because this one is technically young adult, but it is The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. I've never read anything by this author, and I haven't heard too many good things about her other young adult thrillers, but I think this one takes place in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is typically where I live. So that one had me a little interested, and I think someone in our Rex by the Bottle live show recommended this one, but this is The Woods Are Always Watching, set for August 3rd of this year. This one says, a traditional backwoods horror story set first page to last in the woods of the Peckish National Woods in the Blue Ridge Mountains. 2 girls go backpacking in the woods, things go very wrong, and then their paths collide with a serial killer. That's typically all I need. Like, that just has me hooked. Hopefully it's not too young adult. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure where this national park is. I'll have to go Google it. But I like the fact that it's in the Blue Ridge Mountains that I live around. So, I don't know. We'll see. Alright, the next one is by an author that I'm like super excited to read about. I loved The Silent Patient. So, a book by Alex Michaelides has always been on my radar, and I've been waiting oh so patiently for another book, but it is The Maidens. I know a lot of people are talking about this one, but I don't have an ARC, so I'm just gonna have to wait for, you know, the day that I'm able to purchase it. So this one is set to come out on June 15th. This one says, a handsome and charismatic Greek tragedy professor at Cambridge University is adored by staff and students alike, particularly by a member of a secret society of female students known as the Maidens. Marina is a brilliant and troubled group therapist who becomes fixated on the Maidens when one member, a friend of Marina's niece Zoe, is found murdered on the university. That's all I'm gonna read, just because I feel like there's a whole lot more to go into that, but I think this is gonna be interesting because you have like the professor, and then you have someone digging into this secret society or club. I don't know. Sounds really interesting. I think like dark academia type of settings are pretty interesting. So hopefully this one won't let me down either. And I'm hoping for a good plot twist like The Silent Patient. And the last one, like the last one, I have been waiting forever for something by Taylor Adams, because No Exit is like God tier on the thriller spectrum. So I'm so excited to read something else by him. This one sounds a little different. This is called Hairpin Bridge, and this is set to come out on June 15th. I'm telling you, this summer on releases is going to be lit. But this one has quite a big synopsis, so I'm going to try to read this one as best as I can. It says, 3 months ago, Lena's estranged twin sister, Cambry, drove to a remote bridge 60 miles outside of Montana and jumped 200 feet to her death. At least that's what the official police visioned. But Lena isn't buying it. Now she comes to that very bridge, driving her dead twin sister's car and armed with a cassette recording, determined to find out what really happened by interviewing the highway patrolman who allegedly discovered her sister's body. Corporal Raymond Racevic, I'm not sure, I'll put it right here, has agreed to meet Lena at the scene. He is sympathetic, forthright, and professional, but his story doesn't seem to add up. For one thing, he stopped Cambry for speeding a full hour before supposedly leapt to her death. Then there are the 16 attempted 911 calls from her cell phone made in what was unfortunately a dead zone. But perhaps the most troubling of all is the state trooper is referred to by name in Cambry's final text to her sister. Please forgive me, I couldn't live with it. Hopefully you can. Officer Racevic. Lena will do anything to uncover the truth, but as her twin's final hour come into focus, Lena's search turns into a horrid tooth and nail fight of her own survival, one that will test everything she thought she knew about her sister and herself. I need to read this one right now. This one just sounds so good. Like this one I have really high hopes for, and I hope to God it does not let me down. Moving on, that is everything I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any other thriller upcoming releases. I would love to hear them all in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a future video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.